transition and turn on Discord sound so that they can hear you. Huzzah! Hello, everybody.
Oh, snap.
We're gonna do a little bit of recap. Not too much happened since the last time when you guys had said and hydrate already. What the hell?
Start. Full of water.
And a posture check. I've checked. It is bad. Last time we had left off, you guys had started heading out towards the west of Francia in order to get to a specific where a location should be of a part for the like Charybdis stuff. As you guys had set out after a couple of days at sea, you found some members of a cult that is very familiar with Charybdis stuff, in that it is the opposite twin goddess, Scylla or Scylla or whatever you want to pronounce it as. And they basically were like, "Hey, so we noticed you were possibly doing thing. How's about you instead do something slightly more what we want you to do?" And basically said, if possible, don't try to bring all the parts together, and instead, like, try to destroy them. They would prefer if you did that, and if you can't destroy them, bring them to them, and they'll sort of like separate them and put them in different temples to be guarded, so that they stay separate. You guys decided to then hunt for a possible relic that could break these things. Easiest solution was to ask Mai, because Mai has that lovely thing that can look through all sorts of different written materials to find the nearest thing that could answer your question. In this case, the question was to can we get a relic or something powerful enough that could break a item from Charybdis, and we're shown an item known as the Lightning Tails, which is owned by the Mages Guild. But you also had a secondary option of perhaps going back to Akshir, who is a magical item salesperson who may or may not have some relics. You guys went, teleported off your ship while leaving your little circle there so that you could teleport back within a day, and went to the Republic. In the Republic, you went over to the Mages Guild. Some shenanigans occurred in that you bought a bunch of stuff and gained a merchant's license to sell things to and from the Mages Guild, including stuff like having a discount on bulk buys and whatnot. And no relics were easily accessible, as they don't really loan out things that powerful. So instead, you went to Akshir's place. Akshir brought you into a little side room, an extra room, and was showing off a relic, specifically a shard of a weapon known as Frostweld. Apparently, this relic item will mold itself into a weapon that better fits your training. It is made of arcane fire, and as it is made of Titan-based materials, while it can evolve with you, it also may or may not force your powers to evolve to better match it as well. We ended stream there with you guys deciding who might get it or who would possibly wield said thing. But I forgot to include, and I'll do this now on stream, that there's actually 2 other relics that he will bring out and be like, so that was the most useful for your cause. As it has fire magic to it, and the creatures you are fighting are innately not good with fire, as they sort of crumble and fall apart. They would be probably the best option of the 3. However, the other 2 options are there we go, are the Piercing Light, which is currently in the shape of a lantern when he shows it off to you guys, which is an ego weapon of a Paladin of Helm. So a Paladin of Helm, a sort of lawful neutral god, would have passed away and bestowed its power upon this particular item. It can change between a lantern, a spear, a longsword, or a holy symbol. Holy Symbol would be mostly used for like if you needed like a cleric holy symbol to cast your spells and whatnot. Um, it has the power to deal radiant damage. All of its damage type is mostly radiant. Even when it's in a spear form, it does radiant damage. As well as it has the ability to use a special modified version of the spell known as Sunbeam, which is a sort of focused magical spell that creates a ray of radiant damage that you can then re-trigger on subsequent turns. So you can just keep kamehamehaing your way through through things. And the third option was a Slate of Imperial Knowledge, one of the few remaining relics of the Imperial Age, the Immortal Empire, that has actually survived and did not disappear with the Empire. Many of their previous items either discontinued themselves, literally shut down or stopped working, or have vanished when the Immortal Emperor was the coup against the Immortal Emperor finished and the Republic was born. It is a growing spell designed by Archmages. It is runes that cover a gray slate. It is about the size of the one's palm. It's almost like a page of paper, except it is a slate of gray stone. It can be used as a spell focus, as well as it has spells embedded inside of it. So if you have spell slots available to you, like you're a caster type, you can cast spells and use it as a spell focus, as well as it can sort of empower your spells a little bit. If you are not a spellcaster, it does have its own charges inside of itself, so it can allow you to cast the spells that it knows. Because this is a growing spell, it will not affect you personally, but will grow on its own. And Piercing Light, the ego weapon, generally they try to fit you better to them. So the ego weapon will try to manipulate you to be more lawful, neutral, and follow Helm's tenets. And the more you do that, the stronger the weapon gets, because it can unlock its actual potential, or rather, because it's more willing to unlock its actual potential, as it has an ego of its own and can decide just not to help. The Slate of Imperial Knowledge, however, will evolve to better fit you all the time. And the Shard of Frostweald, I believe I already said, will do both. It will manipulate you a little bit, and it will grow itself as well. So those are the three options that were available at Akshir's place. Mai also had a message that can possibly say if want, but you guys are free to have conversation now. Welcome to the jungle. I mean, welcome to Akshir's shop.
The magical item jungle. I mean, what?
Mm-hmm. In this case, the three relics are on display in front of you guys. The sort of floating shard of almost like a deep blue, kind of icy in that you can see through it, but there's this heat coming off of it. A golden lantern that has a little flickering light sort of moving around inside of it, and a slate, just a gray slate that has some glowing runes etched into it, sort of looking like a wizard's spellbook, like a page from Wizard's spellbook. It looks very elaborate in design for the runes. So, these are the three relics I am able to loan off to you guys. Of course, as with all of my loans, there's a bit of a request from my end as well.
What's the request?
It sort of depends on which relic you decide to pick. The loans are different for each. What were you gonna say?
I said all three.
All three?
Unfortunately, I cannot offer that.
I like the shard. Cool.
Of course, it's a very good choice. It is why I displayed it first for you all.
So then what's the request for the shard?
If you would like the Shard of Frostweld, the loan request, we'll have a couple of embedded requirements. The first is, should it ever shed its own shard, that shard becomes my property and will immediately be returned to my magnificent shop. As well as, within 2 seasons, if you are unable to stop whatever this Oksana Bloodeye is planning, the weapon will also return to me. Other than that, there's no other real requirements for the shard.
So if we finish, does that mean it's ours at the end?
Yes, you may keep it. The
Oh.
clause that requires the shard created by it will stand. So should it ever, even after completing, create a secondary shard or lesser versions of itself, those will become my property, but the primary weapon will be completely yours.
Okay.
Does that sound amicable for you all?
I mean, it sounds good to me, but I want it. So I don't know if that sounds good for everyone else.
Well, we need it, right? That's something that we need
Well,
to
we
feed.
do have a fourth option that's not with the shop currently, but
You mean the one in the Mages Guild?
no.
To say we could do both.
I mean, yeah.
We'll take the shard, rob the Mages Guild, grab the
No.
lightning whips.
No. That wasn't something I was mentioning.
As much as I want to draw the ire of a bunch of really powerful spellcasters, I don't. So this is the one heist we can't do, Rachel. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I need to conduct business with them, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, we got to keep our business thriving. Oh, what was the fourth option?
So that black box we have, we could essentially trade it for an item that can do what we need currently.
A cube? What does the
Oh.
cube do?
Don't know what it does, but
Do you think Akshare would know what it does? I feel like he would know.
Wait, where are we trading this?
to a very powerful dragon.
I got it from a dragon.
You were just a delivery boy.
And Mai would be saying this just to the group as much as she can.
Okay.
Just hears me yell, I got this from a dragon.
But if you wanted to ask, that's up to you in terms of information about the box, but it seems dangerous to delve into the information side of it.
That's what makes it interesting.
I mean, if we let Akshare take a look at it, what's the worst that could happen? He becomes really evil and we have to fight him.
I'm not interested in fighting a guy who's got a horde of relics.
What could possibly go wrong?
The whole world is his shop.
I mean, kind of.
Do you want me to look at something?
just gonna stare at my.
I just gonna
My.
look back at Lyra.
and he looks, and he
Who's
looks
got my
me.
cube?
He looks me.
I want him to thank you.
He looks me.
I don't know who had the cube last. I assume it would just fall back into Rigel's
I
hands
think it-
eventually, right?
Probably, but I think Melinda technically had it in her bag last. Because she
Say,
was the one doing
who
identifying.
Open
who
your
stole
bags.
it last?
Open your bag.
I have no such cube.
That was very believable. I thought for some reason Callie
I have no such cube.
I don't think anybody put it in their bag, to be fair.
No.
They
No
were
one
just
did.
holding it
We
in
were
their
just-
hand the entire time.
Yeah, I
pretty
think
much. We were just kind of grabbing it and doing whatever, and
I
then
forgot
just
I'm poor.
Sad times.
Sad.
so. We could probably just say that it would have ended up back in Rigel's hands.
my is he supposed to look at this? You know
mean,
something
if-
I don't know, so
If you want him to look at it,
okay. What's this? I'll just pull
What's
out the
this?
cube.
You just pull it out, you hold it up like the guy pointing at a butterfly in the anime meme.
Is this a bird?
Is this a bird?
Yeah.
Akshir will sort of lean forward a little bit to look at it, not touching it yet. Sort of squint his eyes and go, interesting. Well, certainly seems to be made similarly to that, actually, and looks over at the gray slate that was floating there. Imperial in nature. Old Imperial, so back during the Immortal Empire, probably. May I? And he puts his hand out.
Do you promise you'll give it back?
Of course, assuming it doesn't explode in my face and kill me, I will certainly give it back to you.
Okay. Here you go.
You hand it off to him, and he begins to sort of look at each side. Now, you can still see the symbols flickering on all the sides. Every time it's shifted to a different side, so, moved left, right, whatever, the symbols will move to a different place. And sometimes the symbol will disappear entirely and doesn't seem to be on the faces looking towards you. And as he sort of rotates it a couple of times, he goes, interesting. I vaguely have heard of something similar. It's for sure made of alchemical jade, so black jade. Hard to craft these days. And he sort of walks over, and a countertop sort of appears out of nowhere as he walks behind it, puts it down on the countertop. Symbols begin to highlight around it, and information begins to sort of flow out onto the table for a second, and then just stop. All of the text turns red and disappears, and he goes, "Oh, okay. Something doesn't want you to look at information of it."
Yep.
Rip.
Beyond what's on it, these are the names of different archmages that used to run the major mage tower. And he sort of like flips it a few times, goes, names are missing. Oh. Extraplanar. And he puts it back down and he casts a spell, and you see illusions of the same box appear on the table. You're able to see that these sort of illusions of them are parallel in nature. So as he moves it, they all move the same way, but the symbols on them are different and in different orders each time. And he goes, okay. So whatever it's trapping needed to be trapped on every connected plane. That's mildly scary. If an Archmage's name is not on the box, it means it's on the box either in the Shadowfell, or in the Feywild, or in the one that I always forget. Hang on. Not Akshir, me forgetting. What is the name of the Plane of Ghosts?
Plane of Ghosts?
Yeah.
The ghost zone?
The
The
ethereal.
Phantom Realm.
The ethereal plane. Um, and there might be more versions in other planes as well. Interesting. I don't know how you would open it. I can try to apply. And he applies some magic to one of the symbols, and it begins to sort of glow a bit brighter. And now you all can see the symbol that he's put his thumb on. And then it sort of flickers out, and he goes, far too much magic needed for that. Perhaps there's a key somewhere to it? I literally can't look up any information on it. It refuses. I'm not sure if I can be of much assistance with this, unfortunately. And he'll put it on the countertop and sort of slide it towards the edge for you. I can tell you it's from the Immortal Empire, back when that was a thing. It seems to be made of black alchemical jade, which is a very hard to construct material that has mostly been lost with time. The symbols that are flickering on it are the names of different archmages from the sort of primary, the major Arcana Tower that existed within the Immortal Empire at the time. But at that time, I was very far to the east, so I never really saw any of this. It's all rumors. My best bet is something is trapped inside of it, and a lot of people decided to make sure that it can't get out.
Neat. Okay.
The key.
Sorry, I can't offer much more to you. You're welcome to keep it. If you'd like, I can buy it from you, but I don't know what it's worth really, so...
No, we'll keep it. We'll keep it.
Of course. It doesn't seem immediately dangerous. There's no abjuration magics on it or any sort of conjurations. It just seems to be a box to hold something very tightly. So I think it's alright to just carry around. I have no hunch as to of its usefulness to anybody currently, so I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. I also don't know what it is, so.
Do your best.
It's a very nice box. You won't be able to break it.
Oh, that's cool.
Want
Yes.
bet?
Alchemical black jade was known to be absurdly powerful. It holds enchantments quite well. It is nearly indestructible. And it's really, really hard to make. In fact, nobody knows how to make it anymore. As far as I know.
Okay. Okay.
If you find raw versions of black alchemical jade, I will pay a very hefty penny for it. But something that's been processed like that is not usable anymore.
Oh.
Beyond whatever purpose it holds currently.
Please. What was appearing on the box was a please do not open the thing or whatever's inside.
The symbols that appear on the boxes are the different symbols for the different archmages that existed in the Major Arcana Tower. So literally they're names that are printed as a rune on every single side, and they flicker between all the sides. So a six-sided dice, it's literally a cube, right? Has... How many names does it have? Hang on. I think it's 21 names, if I remember correctly. How many Major Arcana are there in a tarot card deck? It's that many. And those names flicker throughout all the different planes of existence that this box is containing something in. So, yeah. The name you see on one side when you flip it over might now be in a different plane of existence entirely.
22.
Thank you.
Yeah, 22.
I believe 0 is the Fool and 21 is World, right? I think that's the first and last one. But they're Archmages' names instead. And they all have different symbols that represent the different Major Arcana.
0 is the Fool, and
21 is the world.
21 is the world.
Let's go. I still vaguely remember. I just can't remember the numbers off the top of my head all the time.
13 is death.
Indeed it is.
Hold up. Have them all in order.
What was it? What about getting both your thing and this shard thing? Oh, okay. So, if you're willing to allow such a loan, the shard is completely all of yours. Is this a good deal? You okay with this?
How much do you know about the shard? Just
About the
wanna
shard?
know what we're. Yeah.
Oh,
About how it affects people.
I know quite a bit, as I know the original owner and the entire family of the other users of such shards. It is made of Titan bone. The Titan named is lost with time, unfortunately. Probably died somewhere around the Immortal Empire era, possibly slightly before then. But the Titan's bones were found and were forged into different weapons and materials. The blue shard was found and was cut into the shape of an axe head and forged onto, I believe at the time it was a version of Mithril. As the relic fused together, it became a weapon known as Frostweld, a large, sort of two-handed battle axe, one-edged, single-edged. I mean, sorry, one-edged sounds weird. The weapon is known to increase one's capabilities with fire. So if you already have powers over fire and whatnot, it will boost it, and it will convert said power into arcane fire, which is able to get past any fire resistance something might have. So if something has fire resistance, it doesn't resist it. If something has fire immunity, it has resistance to it. So if you hit a red dragon with this, for example, and it does purely arcane fire damage, the red dragon will only resist the damage, not be immune to it. It also adds a sort of heat to your soul, to your base magic, which can be attuned to internally, and will increase your abilities and affect your body, allowing the heat to grow with you. In the primary case, use for this, Genasi's, half Genasi's, and members of half-orc blood are heavily infected by this. In the case of a Genasi, it can completely change your elemental type to arcane fire, changing your race, your species entirely. In the case of humans, it will turn your hands bluish, whatever is used as the primary holding source. Your eyes will glow with a sort of bluish energy, and you will begin to gain powers over arcane fire, whether you had them before or not. And in the case of half-orcs, or individuals with the ability to rage, it infects your blood and adds the ability of heat to your rage or to your the way your blood works. Orcs are known to be rather savage when they fight. This would increase that, adding a sort of burning sensation throughout your body that increases your overall abilities. Quite literally burning through some life force in order to increase your strength. In the case of those of other races, we can only guesstimate. So for someone like you, if you were to wield it, for example, being a half-elf, you would probably be affected mostly similarly to a human. It would probably start to infect you with a bit of its arcane fire power, as well as possibly, over time, turn your hand that you use to wield it bluish. Some have been known to gain the ability to create an aura of fire around them. Some have been able to gain the power to consume normal fire. there are quite a few different abilities that are added, and those are just the infection that occurs, the sort of boon that it grants upon you. Even when unattuning with this item, it is possible that some of those effects will later stay with you as members of the Cerulean Flame House, who are individuals who have similar weapons, and their matriarch is the wielder of Frostwild, have been known to pass the weapons down over time, and those who passed them down have maintained some of their alterations to their body after passing it down. So the alterations internally seem to be slightly more permanent. Is there any other information you might want to know?
How would it affect a dragon? A blue dragon specific.
All dragons are heavily tied within their elements, but not quite as heavily as Genasi are, as they are elementals, like literally half elemental. It's possible that the driving power behind the dragon would shift to this new power. It is possible that it might get both powers, or it's possible that it might combine the powers. But I imagine it would infect and do one or the other, or I mean one of those, options. From what I know, it depends on what you choose to do with the fire that it creates within you. It is a voluntary mutation.
I'll just turn around and look at everyone. Does anyone mind if I take this? Does anyone want this? Does anyone want something else?
You go ahead, man.
I don't
That
want to
seems
steal everything.
Perfect for you, Rigel. I look forward to watching your hands turn blue.
Hey,
I was like, now you're gonna turn into what I was. I mean, what?
I do
it's
miss
the
my blue.
opposite.
Oh yeah.
I think I had to tell you what
Oh.
the head of it looks like multiple times.
Yeah, because I had the silhouette of that had a smaller axe head on the other side. I had to erase it and chop.
Yeah, if this is all right, then we can make this deal.
How stubborn is it?
As far as I know, they have no will of their own. It's completely up to you to move it the way you want it to go. It is not like an ego weapon, for example. It has no personality so much as it just is very heavily elemental in nature. Think of it as like I'd say like an animal, but it doesn't even have that level of intelligence. It's very much you control it. You command this thing. It is still an item in nature. It has no ego, it has no personality. If you decide to grab at the fire it instills in you, that's what causes most of the mutation. If you decide not to, then you could theoretically stave it off forever and just use it as a normal weapon. It'll grow in power as usual, but as a relic made of Titan material, generally speaking, the extra benefits of it mutating you are the purpose of having such a relic.
Okay, this sounds fine.
All right, then we've got a deal. And he makes a gesture, and you see his the sort of floating blue shard suddenly has an emblem etched into a portion of it. The emblem of his shop. In that case, the shard is completely yours. Indeed. Deal. Got it? Deal.
Okay.
Take the shard.
Are you guys sure?
Mhm.
It.
Do it.
Or you, Rachel.
Okay.
Do we?
I'm gonna grab it.
All right, you grab it. Make a Constitution. No, just kidding. Yeah,
I
no. So,
explode.
you grab the
DC 30.
shard. You grab the shard, and immediately there's this sort of like welling heat from a portion of it. However, you also can feel that you need to attune to this, which means you need to sort of swap the stuff that you are attuned to, I believe. Because I think you already have multiple
Yep,
attunements,
I
right?
have 3.
Yeah. Need to turn one of those off.
I'll turn off the sword because I already have a weapon.
For sure. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to let's say whoop, type that down there. A little dash on it because you still have the weapon on, unless you want to sell it here because you could.
No.
Shard of Frostweld, and you are able to, because you are in Alkshir's shop, specifically you're in the magical portion of Alkshir's shop, you are able to immediately attune to it and gain all of its powers. So I will add that weapon to your gear before any fight starts. But you immediately feel a sort of wealth of heat flow from the shard, and 2 images immediately come to mind. Not only is there this sort of floating blue flame now drifting inside of you in sort of like the darkness of like when you close your eyes and sort of like try to concentrate internally, you see this little floating blue flame. Not particularly powerful looking. It's almost like a little candlelight of blue fire at this point. However, you see 2 shapes floating next to it. You see the shape of what seems to be a longsword, and it looks very much like your silvered sword that you currently use, except it's got the sort of like blue shards coming out of it instead of like a handguard. It's got, it's been altered to look more like Frostweld wood. And on the other side of the image is a lance, just a large, like, mounted lance. However, the shard itself just stays as a shard in your hand right now. Would you like to try to do anything?
I'm gonna try make it into a sword, like my longsword.
Sure. You'll reach out towards the longsword. The longsword, in that sort of dark space, vanishes. Everybody sees as the shard shifts immediately into the shape of a longsword. However, it's got blue crystals sort of all over it, and this blue heat coming off of it, a sort of light flame drifting off of the weapon. Rigel, you see that although that disappeared, the image of the lance is still also sort of floating there in space.
I'm gonna try to switch to it.
All right, you reach out and you touch the lance, and as you do, the form of the sword once again catches on that blue flame and shifts in form to a much heavier, even you can feel the weight of this lance that appears. As the lance image disappears, the sword of the longsword, the image of the longsword reappears in your mind. As you are able to shift its shape freely. Specifically speaking, mechanically speaking, it is the same as the equipping rules. So if you would use a sword, for example, on a turn, and did not have it equipped, just making an attack causes you to use that sword. If you, however, wanted to switch to another weapon, you can only sort of switch between one weapon or another once per turn. So if you had your sword out, and then wanted to be like, well, I want to attack. Then it's fine to swap over to your bow, assuming you didn't just swap over to your sword. The same rules apply here. So even if you were attacking with your sword previously, if you want to attack with the lance next turn, it just can become the lance as a part of your next attack. You just have to wait until your next go before you can switch it back to a longsword. That way it's easy to keep track of. There's no like equipment time to equipping it. You also can feel that little floating blue flame has sort of attached itself to some of that primordial magic inside of you, specifically the fire portion of the primordial magic inside of you, and has begun to sort of like change it to better fit itself. It's not adding power, and it's not completely changing you yet. It's just grabbing the little fire power that you have and trying to make it more like it. It hasn't touched any of the like, hasn't touched the lightning, hasn't touched the cold, hasn't touched the, I think acid is your other one. It hasn't touched any of those powers yet. But yeah, you now have Frostweld, which I have to actually make stats for. So I'm gonna do that while you guys can continue to decide what's next to you guys.
I think first step, thank Akshir and possibly go.
Sure, sure.
But I don't know about the rest of the group. They're not saying nothing.
I'm playing with my new toy.
I'm watching Rigel play with his new toy.
Me
Well.
too.
Mine has to turn blue.
Da-boo-dee-da-boo-da.
Sword, lance, sword, lance, sword, lance, sword, lance.
Cool.
I don't have any qualms about going back. I don't think there was anything else other than that relic we needed. So Rigel, you really can't die because otherwise
So
you're screwed.
first, as we're leaving, Maya's gonna pull out or talk to Rigel first. So you're sure that we're gonna also do this trade as well, right?
As soon as you want to, and we are able. Hopefully, not while we are away from the ship, so that everyone doesn't die.
I don't know. It feels like it shouldn't go to someone who's bad.
Is it? You said. Okay, out of character. You said it was a dragon, right?
Yes.
And you said that in character.
Yes.
Okay. Is it? Do we know who it is, Mai?
Well, you know who the dragon is, yes.
Uh-oh. Is he red?
And
Turning
slightly blue.
Yeah.
Okay, he's cool.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he's not.
perfect choice.
So as we're leaving, Maya will pull out the orb and get in touch with Kialdecrit.
Sure.
So it looks like we're willing to do the trade.
No, sorry, that wasn't Kialdecrit. You just hear this like low chuckle on the other side. So did you guys leave Akshir's shop entirely and then go back to your ship to do this, or are you talking to him while you're still like in the Republic? What's the exact, where are we going from? Where are we calling?
Before we leave his shop, like while we're still in front of him,
Mm-hmm.
does anyone else have anything to do there?
So
I mean, unless Akshir has something that'll make my warlord powers like really freaking cool, then no.
yeah, or me with mind weirdness.
Mind weirdness.
Akshir will look over and be like, I have items for nearly everything. And he gestures out, and the originally a sort of small private room that you guys were in that he was just sort of making relics appear becomes similar to the shop that you saw when you entered his carriage, as the walls expand outwards and new walls fall into place through space. Shelves begin to slide into place. Tables filled with gear, armor racks that have tons of different pieces of armor and options. It suddenly becomes the complete shop with locational based things as well as like obvious places for each of you guys individually, right? So like there's a my corner which has a bunch of like the subversion and a bunch of books and a bunch of the
Just
rogue
touch every book.
materials. Um you see that there's an entire section that has the sort of Frankian flag above it at first, but then right below that is also like different visages of different dragons. You see that there is a section that has a sort of one of the like what's that called, the helm of a ship sitting by it, and then just a bunch of different equipment of all kinds that could be helpful on ships, most of which is magical, of course. Just places for everybody show up. For Caliana, there's this there's actually this little side room looking area that sort of manifests.
Wow.
And you can see that it has a bunch of like different tools for like farming and construction of things. There's like laid out plans on how to properly build buildings, and like it looks very odd because it's a lot of like construction and village management stuff rather than like personally making you more powerful. Um,
That's awesome.
for Melinda, there's an entire section that is just a bunch of different plants, just a ton of different plants all over the
Cool.
place, and then different materials from different creatures. Yeah, Cal's corner. But yeah, so there is obviously places made for everybody here, as if the shop knows the possible things you might want. And as this happens, he does sort of lift his left arm and looks at the bottom of his wrist for a second and goes, "Well, some of you can probably afford a few things."
I can barely afford anything.
He looks over and goes, "Unfortunately, yes.
I
Magic
have to get
items
this
are
cape though.
quite expensive.
Yeah.
Could
The more
always sell your
magic
soul.
they are, the more expensive they are."
I could sell my soul. Yeah.
It's on
I
loan,
don't know if anybody
actually.
wants my soul though.
Is
Like
that
me
in
more,
character?
it's fine.
Yeah.
That's in character. Actually, I'll look over and go like, "Well, I don't normally deal in souls. It's possible."
Eh.
I'll probably skip myself just because I'm poor.
Sure, no worries. In case if any of you other ones want to get anything, I'm gonna open up scene item prices so that I can actually look up the prices of things. Is there any things you might be interested in, or things you're kind of like looking for in general?
Oh, I didn't put any of the healing stuff I got last time.
Oh, I gotta change Rigel's blade ability too. Hooray,
Oh.
commands.
Oh
I
yeah.
need to go into the homebrew and fix it. Because now it's different.
Ba, ba.
Oh, it wants me to migrate to a new effect version. Interesting. That might be more work. Okay. Heck. Oh, they actually added like base effect stuff now. Oh, bollocks. 15.
Was it?
Yep, it was 15. You got the discount for having more than 10, but you got 5 over it. I remember doing these stuffs. You got 15 healing potions, or 15 stuff to make healing potions, and 15 something else. Other thing. I don't remember what the other thing was off the top of my head, but
Do I have to put the item amount in parentheses or no?
no, I don't believe so. Just the name if it has more than one. Yeah, there you go. I apparently have to redo all of the unspells. Heck!
Oh my god.
I wonder if I can just modify it in here and it'll be fine, or if it'll make me do a new version. Well, let's check. So I need to get rid of, instead of 2d8, it's 1d8 for your lightning now. And then for fire, I just want to make, instead of 1d8, now 2d8. But you still get your modifier bonus for your lightning. Just say it's fire for now. If anybody has resistance to that. I did all of the things get. Ooh, might be a little buggy actually. I think something might have broken their blades earlier. Yeah, thunder now says fire. What? Oh, it's because it's an effect type. I think I'm changing the effect type on all of them now. Heck! Alright, I'll have to figure that out. We'll have to fake your spell. I'll write down the numbers to make sure that I don't forget them, but as of right now, when you use your lightning in spell, it's the normal 1d8 for your weapon type, and then it's the extra 1d6 for you being lightning, and then it's all your modifiers. So I'll write out the entire string just to know how much it is, because I think it ends up being like +6 to your lightning damage. And in this case, instead of adding a straight plus to your fire damage, it is double weapon damage. So instead of doing 1d8 or 2d8, sorry, you become 3d8. So you're dealing a bunch more. I'll figure it out. You can still enspell this weapon.
Nice.
And it's supposed to add that lightning type as a hit type. So we might have to just create. I might have to just create an enspell that is just like a. If you hit, you then just attack with enspell, and it's a guaranteed hit, and it just deals some like raw damage. But you always still just attack with your normal weapon, because you'll always deal a little bit of arcane fire damage even when you enspell, because it's a relic that requires you to deal that much damage. So yeah, figure it out. But yeah, well, I fix those later. I'm not doing that today. Is there anything else anybody wanted to get in Akshir's place?
What you got in the dragon area?
Yeah, if you head on over to the Rigel area, you'll see that there are a few different options. There are standard like scaled armors, but you already have, armor made from Queen's scales. They'd be similar in nature, but they'd give you, advantage on different saving throws and resistances to different types of elemental damage. So, for example, there's a like scaled red armor, which gives you resistance to fire, but also gives you an advantage to saves against strength saving throws. And there's ones for all the different colored of dragons. Many of the metallic ones have like wisdom or intelligence saves instead, whereas a lot of the chromatic ones have like strength or dexterity or constitution saves. Some of them have extra bonuses, like, you know, giving you extra damage and whatnot, but you already have armor that you're attuned to. For things that don't require attuning, there are a few little miscellaneous objects. There are things like the oh god, what was it called? It's like a little statuette looking thing that could summon or create a very small dragon companion, sort of like a find familiar version of a draconic companion that can be used similarly to find familiar. There are would Oxshire have those? Oxshire might have some of that because it's draconic and it's helpful. A material that you have seen before, known as dragon scale, which is a type of drug that, when smoked, can give you the benefits of whatever dragon type it is. So, for example, if you were to smoke emerald scales, you'd get bonuses to temporary hit points and extra like constitution modifiers and whatnot. And he has all the different colors available. There are different types of rings of protection. I'm trying to think what doesn't require attunement. He's got your dancing blade on display. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeet.
There are all sorts of different potions and oils. You already have a weapon, so you don't really need a weapon. Kind of just a bunch of miscellaneous magic items. Not sure if you're looking for anything in particular or any like particular stat increase or whatnot.
Health. I fall a lot. I get hit a lot. Something to help health or defense.
If you'd like,
Or,
you can probably get a shield that is better. Oh, and your emerald breastplate is only technically a +1. Ooh, you can probably get a +2 breastplate or a +2 shield, which would add another AC. You'd get 1 more AC per. Price-wise though, let me see how much that actually costs. Nope, that's a +3 weapon. That's correct. 1 armor pieces. Oh god. I'm not good at this, guys. Can you tell? Can I just find it by like alphabetical? There we go, alphabetical. +2 armor, +2 shields. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Well, it's not too expensive. To +2 a weapon or +2 a shield, it costs about 5,000 gold. So if you wanted to, you could have your basic shield, or you could have your emerald breastplate sort of increased in power. If you were just looking for more survivability.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Let's do the breastplate, because I'm less likely to lose that.
Sure. Yeah, so if you head back over to Oxshire, he'll be like, oh yes, we can quite easily increase it. It will cost about 5,000 gold for me to do this. Should only take about an hour for me to take care of it for you.
Do we have an hour?
I think so.
I don't want to make you nervous staying away from your stuff.
I mean, it's probably fine. We said
If
we'd
you'd
be a
like, I can
bit.
send it to you once it's done.
Sure. Nothing's possibly gonna happen in an hour.
Well, now you are making me nervous.
Surely you won't be attacked during the hour that you don't have a breastplate. That would be absurd.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
That would be freaking.
but that can be taken care of. 5,000 gold.
Oh, dang it.
Mistiness.
Yep.
Kaliana, you said you were going to hold off because you didn't have any gold.
Yeah.
Lyra, did you want to try to get anything?
This time.
My, did you want to try to get anything?
I wonder if there'd be any information that, like, books and stuff that she could possibly see.
Yeah, when you go to the little section that looked like very investigatory / roguish in nature, there is a like small library of books there, and you see that like as you look over the books, their titles shift, as if the books are being moved over time. Is there a particular type of book or information you're looking for?
Well, now Mai's starting to get curious about the Imperial stuff, so she's probably going to put on the white gloves and search through for information on the potential information on that.
Sure. As soon as you go to put on the white gloves, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can grab something, based on the Imperium. As soon as you look up, all of the books have stopped shifting, and like the 5 books right in front of you are different Imperial history books. As if understanding what you're looking for, they immediately show up in front of you. There is one that is a sort of biography post fall of the Empire. Autobiography? No, biography. Because autobiography would be if he wrote it himself. He did not write this himself because he was in a coup. About the old emperor. Literally the immortal empire. The immortal emperor of the immortal empire. Sort of a attempt at talking about his life, but apparently it was kind of secretive in general. So some of it's speculation, some of it's just stories about what people have heard about him. There is a book that is of research, like archaeological digs from the Republic, which is where you guys are now technically, because the Republic is literally built on the capital city that used to be the capital city of the Immortal Empire. So literally the seat of the Emperor was what is now known as the Republic. There is a book on like the old structures of the government. There is a book on, I don't remember what the other book was. It was made by an explorer whose name I forget. Oh, it's the maps. And then the other one is it's maps of the old imperial like district and like where it used to reign. So for example, if you open the book, you're able to see that like the capital of the Republic is marked, or sorry, the capital of the Republic. The Republic isn't the capital. The Republic is the entire city. Whatever. The capital of the Immortal Empire, which is now known as the Republic, is shown as like just a star on the map, and just a huge swath of land headed south into what is like independent, untamed territories nowadays is marked as like imperial territory. So the Immortal Empire used to be massive back in the day.
How much for all of this?
Akshir will look over and be like, well, seeing as you can acquire it pretty easily on your own, paper-wise, only one of them's really considered rare. So, say 50 gold
And off go the gloves and consume of the information.
Yeah, so you take off your gloves and you grab a book to consume the information, and nothing seems to happen.
Well, all right. Either way, they'll be in my backpack.
Yeah, Akshir looks over and goes, "Oh, sorry about that. Any magic that could possibly change, corrupt, or affect anything within my territory is unable to be activated. So that's my bad on that one."
No, you're perfectly fine. I tried not to take anything without making sure that either A, it's a bad person, or B, it's handed over to me.
Of course, and I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so you get those books of the Immortal Empire back in the day.
Of which they will be consumed once we're outside of the shop, but you know.
Yeah, I was gonna see if I could open up the timeline so I can remember how long ago the Immortal Empire fell. I think it was 1,000+ years ago, so it's been a while. But yeah, so you've got a bunch of sort of reprints. Only one of the books actually looks legitimately old, and that's probably the one that he actually made you pay for, which is the not the biography, but it's the structure of the empire. So the one that tells you like how it was laid out. It includes things like the major arcana. It includes the major arcana, which is a mage's tower, the minor arcana, which was the sort of like apprenticeships to the mage's tower. It shows the like legislative, it shows the executive branches, it shows, you know, it is a history of the structure of the empire back when it was still a thing. Melinda, did you want anything?
No. I feel like she would just probably peruse the ingredients and then decide that she doesn't have enough money for them. And
Yeah.
she can probably find some cool stuff outside, so
No worries. You see a bunch of materials that are like not just like, you know, like, hey, it's, you know, a wolf's eye or whatever. A lot of the material is labeled as like individuals or creatures that were like first awakening or second awakening. So creatures that would have been level 5 or level 10 at least. You do see a couple of items that are listed as like third awakening, which would have been a level 15 creature. But it doesn't seem like there's any more basic materials. All the materials here are higher leveled materials, if that makes sense.
yeah.
But if you're not looking to buy them,
No,
they just look really cool.
Yeah. She's looking for less ingredients and more like warlordy stuff.
Gotcha.
Hey.
And then I'm back to Rigel, and I think Rigel, you got everything you wanted, right? Maybe?
Yeah. Considering also upgrading the shield, that's a lot of gold.
You can. Just another 5,000 gold.
So much.
Is the AC worth it?
I'll be at 21.
That's a pretty high AC.
Sure, why not?
All right. Another 5,000 gold, please. And then both of your items should return to you at about the same time.
Hooray, I'm naked.
You can still slash.
Oh, you want me to
True.
enchant your Frankian coat too? Sure, why not? No, just kidding.
The GIF isn't even playing for me, but I know exactly which one it is.
Could you please enchant my underwear? Por favor.
Yeah.
Just like, hear me out. It never rides up or down.
Give it a
Best
self-cleaning
underwear
function
ever.
so I can always wear the same underwear and never have to clean it as well.
Yes.
Let's go.
No.
A heater and a cooler built in.
Hell yeah, brother. Akshir says, "I'm sorry, that's too much. It's gonna be like 10,000." No,
Oh, dang. That's fair. That's fair.
it's a lot of
20,000 gold later.
enchantments. Yeah. But yeah. So if you all have gotten what you want, we can continue to move on. And I believe there was possibly going to be a call to a lovely red dragon daddy.
Yeah.
Do you plan on doing it here in the Republic, or do you guys want to teleport back to your ship first?
Can we check on? Can we just check on the ship? Can we just go back? I'm so worried now.
Back
Yeah,
to the ship we go.
Melinda is able to teleport you back there if Melinda wants to.
So Melinda wants
Heyo.
Just they decides no.
to- We're swimming back, guys.
I mean, that's like my sole job now, so I guess it's the only thing I'm good for.
No potions. Eventually.
Eventually.
Oh, that's what you got. You got 15 uses of teleport materials. That was the other thing that you got.
Oh, that's right. Chalk.
Add that to your teleportation materials that you had previously, which I don't remember how much you had. It was like 3 or 4 or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter because you're going to use another one to get back home right now.
And by home, he means the
So
ship.
16.
Fantastic. As you all decide to leave the Republic, you head out of Akshir's shop, and you ritually cast some teleportation circle, getting everything prepared and ready and good to go as you as you telly.
It's annoying to write the whole thing.
Melinda, if you can roll a D100 for me, please.
Meh.
As your teleport is aimed at a circle, yes, but it is a moving circle.
No, you. What do you mean that's a move? I thought we were anchored.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, so you all go into the teleportation circle and reappear back in the sort of navigation room of your ship, back where the teleportation
Fucker.
bad, minus 14. Let's go. You land back in the navigation room to your ship.
I'm just gonna run out real quick just to take stock of if there's been a mutiny or fires or anything. Just to make sure. I'm gonna go check on people.
Yeah. You run out and you hear a ruckus of a couple of people drinking on the deck.
Only a couple?
Only a couple.
Ridiculous.
Only a couple. Followed by one of them being pushed over as Gunner's behind them. Basically points over at you for a second and then looks at the guy and he goes, "Shit," and he sort of like shuffles to move. As Gunner walks over and goes, "I told them if they want to drink, not to drink on the deck, and definitely not when you can see them. They just don't want to listen."
I'm surprised that you can even keep them from drinking on the deck. That's really impressive, Gunner. Oh, you found your calling.
God, you should see the drunken cannon fire I have to deal with. But they're learning how to shoot, so fuck it. As he leans over and then notices that the cup that the guy had of alcohol is still there, and he shrugs and grabs it and takes a drink out of it.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, I'm just gonna That as long as everyone's good, I want to go back and try to trade off the cube.
Seems as if everything's going well on deck right now. You hear some cannon fire every now and then, but you've been hearing that for the past 2 days of travel, as Gunner is still technically trying to teach them how to use the fireball cannons and the lightning cannons, because he wants to make sure they're not idiots and don't freaking accidentally shoot the ship or something. Yeah, Mai and everybody else, you're all back on the ship. What's next? Who you calling?
And Keldicrit to tell him we're willing to do the trade.
Sure. You go to pull out the orb, I assume, to do this?
Yep.
Alright, you go to pull out the orb and you hear a voice. The orb doesn't change colors and you don't see the individual, but you hear the voice go. So you've decided to make the deal. Alright. I'll be there in a moment. A few seconds pass. A couple seconds more. And there's this heat in the room.
Lyra, you should probably go tell the crew not to fire at the dragon, probably.
Yeah, I'll warn them that we're having company in the form of a large red and slightly blue dragon, potentially.
And as you say that, and go to possibly turn out, the heat wells in the room that you're in. As stepping out of sort of a veil of heat, like a heat wave, is a heavily armored, red armored, black haired and black bearded gentleman. The lovely and magnificent Keldicrit. Who I need to go grab. Magnificent. He looks absolutely amazing.
Several of the crew faint.
Oh, just red armor, not red and blue.
No,
Not
in
yet.
human form, because he can shapeshift however he wants, he makes it purely red because he doesn't like the fact that he's blue.
Same.
Blue is
Same.
such a nice color.
As Keldicrit appears out of the heat. Well,
Is he still on
hello.
the ship?
I might be starting to like this guy.
I heard you all have a deal for me. An object I'm looking forward to having.
But why, though?
Because it's interesting.
Right?
It's a puzzle to be solved. Is it not?
Wait. So
I
what is this deal?
Something interesting from an age long past. I want to research it, tinker with it, see what it can do. See what I can do to it, perhaps. We'll see what happens as it happens.
Why? What are you getting out of this?
I tried to ask him. It's mostly just an item that can help us on this adventure.
Yes, I guarantee you. Not quite an item, but a power, an ability. Something that will merely make you better. And it won't change anything you already do. Purely an upgrade.
You know what? Can I make one slight amendment to this deal?
He slowly glances over at you. Depends on what the amendment is.
So I want to know what this cube is as well. It's real neat, real weird. I just want to know. I want to be filled in and possibly help mess with it.
Could be arranged. The plan was to use my lovely followers special ability to slowly but surely pull apart the information. It just made more sense for it to be in my hands so that I can manually test it myself as well. But as I gain information, I'll be asking more questions of of your friend named Mai. She'll be able to inform you of every question I ask. I have no problems with her sharing the information, of course. And should I open the box, I guarantee that you'll all be the first to know.
Pretty sure multiple planes of existence will know.
Yeah.
True. I wasn't expecting the extra information you got for me, but I do appreciate it.
No problem.
At least now I know the puzzle exists in multiple planes. But how to break it open?
Well, what you gotta do is just clone yourself or get someone in every plane of existence to hold the cube at the same time. Press up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. But yeah, here you go, Mai. You can have this. Do what you need to do.
Caldecrit will sort of open his hand, and you can see that the armor pieces cause his hand to look almost like the armored claw of the red dragon itself as he puts his hand out. Do we have a deal, Mai?
Yep.
Ah,
Yep.
so glad my power found its way to such an adorable and helpful little kitten. As he reaches his hand out even more to take the cube from you. Do you take it? Do you let him have it?
Smack him.
This seems like such a bad idea, but no one's gonna say shit, right?
Her spine might tingle, but yes, she hands it to him.
Smack
Lovely.
him.
In a good
Pat
way?
him in the face.
His claw
In a good way?
slowly wraps around it and pulls it closer to him. Takes a moment to look at it and pockets it in a portion of his armor. It sort of like folds underneath the armor somehow. Now, I have to, of course, follow through my end of the deal. You have a weapon on hand that you use constantly, don't you? Your dagger. Let me to borrow it for a moment. I'll return it, of course.
Which she'll hold it out to him.
He grabs it by the hilt for a moment and takes a look at it. And interesting enchantment.
Interesting.
Let's see how much more powerful we can make it. He'll take the dagger and use it to slice into a portion of his arm as he begins to sort of pour his blood. And you see his blood as it touches the weapon, the dagger, sort of melts a little bit of the metal, and then it begins to reform sort of ashen black in portions. The heat begins to well up around it. At the hilt, a sort of reddish orb begins to appear as your dagger is beginning to sort of shift and change a little bit. As he will hand it back to you, as it looks as if molten lava is beginning to sort of shift through it. However, you still feel the attunement, and you still feel that it has its original abilities. As well as perhaps something more. Not only do I offer you a portion of this draconic power, I give to you another boon for such loyalty. And you are gifted the gift of the chromatic dragon, which is a boon.
Whoa.
Which I can actually just show you. Gift of the chromatic dragon. Let me snip this so that I can just post it in chat so you can see exactly what you get.
Real neat.
Capture. Yeah. Post. Upload. Gift to the Chromatic Dragon. So it gives you that, along with the modification to your dagger, which you don't quite know what it does yet. But you imagine, based on the heat coming off of it, that it do fire. It do the burn. And you're not sure how your other benefit will affect it now. As before, what it did was it turned your weapon attack damage into fire. What happens if it's already fire? You'll have to test that out and see. You're the investigative type, right?
Oh hell yeah! Gotta figure out everything.
As he retracts his
Wait.
hand away from the dagger.
Which is why this is better than previously anticipated. Because he wants information, I want information.
Mm-hmm. So, our deal shall continue. I will continue to grant you the power of being your patron. In return, you'll let me continue to be honest, probably grasp at straws using your powers. I don't know how much is written or what is left of the information for this cube, but straws I shall grasp at, and hopefully we hit some interesting information. We'll pull this box apart, even if it takes 100 years or more. We'll find our way into this box. Hopefully you enjoy your gift in return, and you've given me something to think about and test for quite a while. I'll probably be occupied. If you need help, feel free to call. Remember, I'm your patron, not a god. In the end, you'll have to offer me something every time.
Either way, thank you.
As for your friends, if they want to call me as well, tell them to not. And he turns, and the heat
I'll
begins to
probably
sort of
do it anyway.
The heat begins to well up in front of him as he slowly glances over to you and goes, "Fucking blues," and then walks through the portal.
You're partially blue.
As he vanishes back into the heat. And you have now acquired the volcanic Inquisitive Dagger. It does heat damage now, instead of purely piercing damage. You're not sure how your ability that changes to deal fire damage will change this, but it probably make it go even more burr. And it did not stop any of your normal inquisitive abilities with it. So, if you have your inquisitive active, it still gives you advantage to attack with that blade, that kind of thing.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna modify it on your character sheet and give it the sort of the volcanic power to it. That when we refresh, you'll actually have the volcanic portion of it. But any other abilities it might have added, you'll have to actually figure out over time. However, the gift of the Chromatic Dragon, you should write down or add to like somewhere something.
I did.
That way-
I added it towards the flaming body.
Yeah, there we go. So you can remember that you can do stuff like getting extra damage and resisting things, which can be super
Probably along the
useful.
lines of fire.
Probably, that's a good idea. You might want to resist. Wait, can this resist cold damage? You can resist cold damage. So if the enemies use any of their like watery stuff, you might be able to react because it's the gift of the Chromatic Dragon, not the gift of the Red Dragon. You get the ability to pick between any of them.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's not like, hey, you resist red. No. You resist any ability that is chromatic in nature. So you can resist acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage as a part of your reaction.
As well as a bonus action, infuse.
Yeah! Indeed. That just adds extra 1d4, right? 1d4 chosen. After you use this bonus action, you can't do again for a long rest. Yeah, so just once per for a go. You have a very weak version of Rigel's Primordial Blade option in spell.
But after
Hey.
starting off and staying mostly neutral damage for as long as I have,
Yep, you have an element now, and it is heavily tied to a dragon who is interested in similar things to you. Literally, his horde is collecting books, so mildly linked in interests.
which is probably why it worked out so well and why he's okay with it being me.
Oh yeah, the other ability that he forgot to say, but he would have said. Sorry, my apologies. I am still human. Not an amazing DM, but I try. The volcanic dagger can be used to break Charybdis. Specifically, it can be used to break any cold or necrotic aligned items.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so Charybdis can be smited using this dagger. It is another item that can destroy items of Charybdis. So now you guys have two technically.
Very awesome. We couldn't have just waited for him to show up. We had to go. God dang it.
But yeah, you guys are able to have another couple of days at sea without any conflict, or rather a day at sea. I think you guys were on a free day at sea, and then able to have another free day at sea before anything interesting happens. I think I already had Melinda add time previously before you guys then went to Oxshire for a portion, but yeah, bleh, it's fine. The time is still done for Melinda's potionies. I want to make sure those potionies get done. And then I need somebody to roll a dice for me, please. We're looking to roll. Oh, this one doesn't matter
I
anymore.
want to roll.
Okay,
Do it.
Callie on.
All
What am I rolling?
Roll a D. Let's get rid of this one too, because this one's not interesting. Roll a D4, please.
Boink. Oh, sorry
Hey,
guys.
damn it.
Well, that doesn't mean it's bad.
It could be bad no matter which way you roll it, girl.
Yep,
That's true. That's
he
true.
made it random.
A 1.
Whatever.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Uh-oh. Sorry guys.
Uh-oh.
No, this is good. This is good. It also means that I can
Uh.
remove this one so that your final encounter is a D2, which will be interesting. But we're not going to do that yet because we want to actually finish this encounter first. Yeah. So as you guys are sailing, you are able to hear from the crow's nest. Actually, Mai, you'd probably see this because you're probably the one jumping up to the crow's nest all the time.
Yep.
You're able to very easily see this. It is not like a perception check thing. They're sailing out in the open. Doesn't really matter. You see a large white sail that has what looks to be a sort of golden coin as their icon. A large trading ship that then has two ships sort of trailing behind it that are more gunship-like. They're about the same size as your guys' ship, but it looks like they have more cannons total. But then the big trading ship is very large. Lyra, as you see this come over, sort of over the waves in the distance, it's still at the distance, you are able to recognize this. I believe Lyra and Rigel would recognize this, as this is the trading company known as the Morcade Trading Company. Good lord, I always forget the N. The Morcade Trading Company is known to deal with everybody. They try not to smuggle illegal things, but there's a lot of information that they probably smuggle illegal things. And because they have deals with every government and the pirate groups, they are very rich. They are the one group on the seas that neither a country nor pirates tend to try to mess with, because pirates can actually just trade with them and sell their shit, even if it's stolen, and it gets sold off. As well as Francia, and the Republic doesn't mess with them because they bring a bunch of goods. And they follow all trade regulations as far as anybody knows. So, yeah, you see a trading vessel of the Morcane Trading Company. The ships are headed kind of in your direction. They're headed eastward. They're probably actually headed to the Black Fleet based on the direction they're heading. Back to where you guys were coming from. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Do we want to spend more money? We should not try to steal their money, because otherwise we'd be in a bad situation.
Probably not steal their money.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with not doing that.
This is the shopping episode to end all episodes. No, stop. That's my inner voice telling me to do it, and I'm ignoring it.
Honestly, I thought exactly that's what we were doing. As soon as he mentioned it, I was like, "Yep, here we go."
I was so excited until he's like, "Yeah, they do business with everybody." I'm like, "Oh man, no, we can't do it, guys. Maybe unless we had, all of Xana's fleet, then I would be very considering it, because then we'd be strong enough to maybe take on other people. But I don't want to become enemy number one for pirates and Francia and the rest of the world for stealing their shit.
But
Next time, next ship we see, I promise. Then we can pirate. Should we see what they have, or should we just let them go by?
Well,
I
if
mean,
we
we
go
did
by them and they happen to attack us, and we just have to defend ourselves.
I have a feeling that's not going to work out the way you want it to. I mean, I'd be fine with that.
All right.
No.
So we
think-
doing a pass by?
I think so. Because I mean,
Like-
what could they possibly have in their? I want to know what they have. I just don't want to go. I feel like it's gonna be another 30 minutes of shopping.
Who all has money left? Rigel.
I think I have. I'm saving money for more cannons, so I'm trying really hard to be good. And also
You
maybe
just-
the ability for the thing to fly.
I mean, you could just buy the cannons off of these guys, probably. They might have some spares.
Hello, yes, I would like to buy your ship.
Mhm.
You work for me now. Rigel, no. Why are you pulling out your coin first? You just spent money.
Money is for spending.
True.
Not hoarding.
But then you can't spend money on big things.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just peek at what they have, and then we'll let them go back. I just want to know. They probably have like boring shit, but I just gotta know.
Sure. Rigel, your armor and shield would have shown up by now, so I have modified
Hooray.
them.
Pretty.
Dose. Dose. See if that worked. 21 AC? 21 AC, it worked. Let's fucking go. Yeah, sure. So as you guys get closer, the central sort of merchant ship actually begins to sort of peel off from the guards and head towards you, as if to like try to get closer to you guys specifically, while the other guard ships begin to sort of drift around on either side. just to make sure that the cannons are nice and lined up in case something goes bad. Uh, as they drift around and the sort of gold ship meets with you guys, you can see that this ship is very elaborate. It has like gold embroidery all over it. It has it is the rich person's ship. It is less a simple trading caravan vessel and more somebody decided to try to turn a trading vessel into a yacht looking thing. An individual walks out onto the primary deck and sort of waves his hand over at you guys. You can see that he's wearing a long white coat and has the same symbol, that sort of golden coin symbol, embroidered on his coat. As the ship comes to a stop near you guys, he waves for some people to lower a catwalk down so that he can head from his ship over to yours, or your ship over to his.
He can come to us.
Sure. Once it is sort of attached between your two ships, and your ships are now sort of drifting with each other, he will step up onto the like gangplank and walk over to your guys' ship, hopping down onto the deck. You see as two guards follow after him, two pretty heavily armored knights, sort of get onto the gangplank, and then hop to either of his sides, and sort of just stand there as like guards behind him. He looks over at you all and goes, "Well, hello. I do hope I'm not finding you all at a bad time."
Why would we be? No, you're not. Why would we be in a bad time? Is there something going on?
Yes, actually, I was recently being attacked. Can you imagine? Some gross individuals from the Jagged Isles decided that this would be a great time to ruin their deal with me, and thought they could steal from me. Rather rude. Ugh.
Oh yeah, who would ever do that? That's so dumb.
Right. They damaged my good coat, even. Ugh. But if you are all in a magnificent mood, then perhaps we could make some deals, move some money around.
Yeah.
I do see you are members of the Black Fleet, yes?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Wonderful. In that case, I have some goods that are a little too hot to sell in other places. So I was planning on heading to the Black Fleet directly, but if you all would like first pick of my fenced gear, I would greatly appreciate you buying anything. All of it is, of course, discounted, as it is being sold under different pretenses from usual. If you'd like, we can bring some of it over, or you can come over to my ship and check it yourself. Are you looking for anything in particular?
I think we're just browsing. Window shopping.
Browsing. Oh, very well. Then I would recommend you come to my ship to check, rather than me try to bring everything across to your ship. That would be far too much work for everybody involved. Take too much time. I don't want to take as much time, if possible.
It seems fine. Yeah, that seems fine. Alice, can you come here? And then whoever else wants to come.
Yeah, Melinda, as you go to check these knights that are standing, they are heavily armored to the point that you can't really see their face. As you look at their faceplate, you can see that there's metal where there should be, like, it has the gap, like the normal helmet gap, but beyond that is just a sheet of metal. Like, there's no visible gap for them to physically see out of this armor. If you could make an Arcana check for me, please. Okay. Yeah,
Well-
they're wearing armor that they shouldn't be able to see out of. Also, some of the like joints seem oddly put together. Like, this would be a very stifling armor to actually wear. Like, suffocatingly so. There's no flexibility to it that you would expect. It is moving, and they can obviously move. But it's like as if whatever is inside of it controlling it would have to have no bones or no like skin to cling to. You know what I mean? Like the structure is human and can move, but doesn't look like it should be a human moving it. If that makes sense, it's weirdly constructed.
I'm gonna go up to one of them, like right near the face, and be like, "Hello, hello."
Sure. Are you invisible while you're doing this, or do you just do it?
I'm just gonna do it.
Sure. You go up and go. You begin to talk, and the helmet sort of moves a little bit to look at you and goes, "Yes."
How are you seeing in there, sir?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
How are you seeing on the outside when you're on the inside? I'm gonna try and find a way to get into the faceplate.
Sure. The gap is wide enough and it's pushed back enough for the metallic plate that you can actually like squeeze into the gap if you wanted to. And as you begin to sort of look into the gap, you do see that there's this sort of like bluish fog or like a blue mist internally inside of this helmet. And the individual goes, well, I'm a... And now I forget what the race is called. Hang on.
I don't have my notes. I know who you're talking about, but I don't have my notes.
Yeah. Can I look up Kaladesh? Plane shift Kaladesh.
These are the same people that Mara encountered. Where was that?
The Archduchy of Sazan. They were the guards of the White Tower.
Yeah.
Aetherborn.
Fancy.
They're called Aetherborn. He goes, I'm an Aetherborn. I don't have.
Oh.
I mean, we can have eyes to see, but we don't see with eyes.
Cool. So what do you? How do you sense the world around you?
I'm really not sure how it works. I mean, I see colors just as anybody else does, and I can perceive things. Nobody really knows how our eyes work so much as they claim it's like magic sonar or something that nobody's quite sure, but we are aether by nature, which is magical. So maybe we just perceive magic and get colors from it. Be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Like, I can tell you're a fairy, you're flying, you have little wings, see the colors on you just as usual, but I can also see the colors that the person's wearing who's currently on a cannon below us, and he sort of like puts his foot down, and he is standing above where a cannon placement is. So this wood is not blocking me from seeing your friend down there, for example. We just kind of perceive things, I guess.
Do you have to stay in that armor?
Yes. I do. He doesn't, and points at the other one.
Oh, I'm gonna go over there. What are you? What are you?
Yeah, you fly over there. Yeah, he still has that steel plate underneath his helmet as he sort of like glances. Goes, yes, I am Aetherborn as well.
But you know how to stay in the armor?
Oh, yes. And he sort of like grabs the edge of his gauntlet and unsnaps a part of it and pulls it off, and you can see that there's this sort of pale flesh underneath that has this faint bluish glow, and this faint blue fog is drifting out of the where the armor met the gauntlet. And he goes, I'm more physically available than my friend over there is. All of us are slightly different from each other.
Oh.
I'm less pieces than he is. he'll sort of drift. I mean, you can kind of see the drift, and he like is gesturing at the blue fog that's drifting down the hand. So I still lose bits and pieces every now and then, but generally I could take this armor off and be fine. And he slips the gauntlet back on and snaps it back into place. There are some among us who
Cool.
don't need to have any encasement at all. Though most of them are in Aradesh, not here.
Pretty cool. Are they actually like warm?
The drifting fog has sort of like a lukewarmness to it. It not quite as warm as like human skin would be, but I mean it has warmth to it. More importantly, because you're attuned to arcane nature, it has a magic to it.
Mhm.
Like the drifting fog that is technically this creature does have some level of like it is arcane in nature. It's not ghostly, so it's not ethereal. It is magical.
Can I try and catch some of it? Is that rude?
He goes, no, not particularly, but you won't be able to keep it.
What? Why not?
Any of the pieces of us, the drifting fog, the stuff that makes us aether-like, it decays quickly once it's no longer a part of us. If you vacuum seal something, it lasts for up to a day, I believe. At least that's what the studies said that we got sent from home. You're welcome to try.
I want to try.
Sure. It's easy enough because the fog sort of drifts downwards to pull out a like jar and get it to drift into the jar and then try to seal it. Vacuum sealing it's gonna be hard, just because medieval times. You can probably use some spells to like heat up the stuff and try to get the air out of the container to vacuum seal as much as you physically can, but you can kind of already see it, pieces of it begin to sort of fade over time.
Can I immediately try and use some of that in a potion?
Sure.
One of the healing, like try and put the dominate potion away and try and make a healing potion with some of
Sure.
it?
So, are you going to request for this Aether guy to try to help you make a potion out of it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Come here. Come here. Come down the stairs. Go, go, go.
So while you drag one of the knights away, and you see the sort of pompous man who stepped onto your ship, your guys' ship, go. All right. Seems your friend has something to do with my friend. The rest of you may come to my ship and look over any of my goods. As he will continue over to his ship, and the merchant's ship actually has like a nice staircase leading down into the ship, and you guys are able to look through a bunch of items. So while healing potions are being made using aetherborn fog,
that's an interesting sentence.
yeah. If the rest of you guys are browsing, he will take you guys to the sort of fenced goods, the stuff that he can't sell to not pirates. And you do see there are quite a few like very illegal potions. Things that are like, oh yeah, you can increase your strength by 4 for an entire day. But also it's incredibly addictive, and if you don't, you permanently begin to lose strength unless you drink the potion. There's like hard drugs basically that are helpful until you stop using them or until you get addicted to them, at which point then they become horrific. But then he's also got stuff like cannons, some of which have labels on them, some of which are very obviously from like Frankian vessels, which do not legally trade their cannons off of the vessels. There are some Republic cannons that look as if they were frequently in use, and some of which are damaged as if they had been recently destroyed. You're able to see a bunch of different like bits and bobs for ships, as well as like jewelry and riches. There are a few magical items, but very few. Simple like necklaces and stuff that like noble people would have. Probably pawned and or stolen off of somebody. But there's a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. Anything you're particularly looking forward to? Or you just browsing?
Just browsing. I'm interested in the drugs a little bit. How much are the drugs?
Oh, depends on what you want. What kind of a connoisseur of drugs are you?
Me personally, not. But if I wanted to slip something into someone's drink, do you have
Okay. No, I completely
undetectable?
understand. Yes. We have poisons that will do wonderful things, depending on how long you want the person to be out, of course. Do you want the person to remember the time that they were out?
This is getting so sketch.
Mhm.
No. No, I
No?
do not.
Okay, wonderful. Do you want them to wake up at all?
Mhm. You know, I'm pretty like both. Both would be good if you have some that lets them wake up and does not let them wake up
Sure.
ever
We
again.
we have stuff that is more legally available. Things like sleeping medications. You slip that to somebody, they'll be out all night long. Uh, if you slip them enough, they'll be out for even longer. However, if you're looking for something that they don't ever wake up from, we do have a potion of eternal dreams, which,
Ooh.
if drunk and if they fail to make their keep their wits about them, they will fall asleep and never wake up.
I will take it. Okay, first, how much is it? But
Oh, wonderful!
probably that.
For a potion of eternal sleep. Where's my scene item prices? I had it open just a second ago. There it is. I believe it is considered a level 4 spell, or is it a level 5 spell? Sleep. Spell scroll level 5, and then sleep. Potion dosage adds that much. It is 700 gold.
Oh, that's honestly not as bad as I was expecting. Yeah, I'll do it.
Wonderful. And he'll go and reach through some of the potions and pull out this sort of inconspicuously covered container, sort of like a semi-metallic shell around it, and has a big old like cork stopper to it. And he goes, "All right, a potion of eternal slumber, infinite dreams, endless sleepy times." He'll hold it out for you.
Question: does this work on all forms of life and unlife? Like if it was given to an undead thing, would it work?
He pauses and goes, "Oh, it is still technically speaking a magic that affects sleep. So any creature that could not be magically affected to go to sleep, it would not work on."
Okay. It's a risk I'm willing to take.
His eyes
I-
slowly look over towards Caliana, who is an elf and thus cannot be magically put to sleep.
Perfect. The person I'm trying to put to sleep for forever is not an elf. So I still don't know fucking what she is. So we're gonna find out.
Mhm.
Okay. How
Yeah.
do add bag? First pay coins minus. Did he say 7? Or was it 500?
700 gold.
Do you have a friends and family discount for pirates?
Friends and family discount for pirates. As far as I know, don't have any friends or family that are pirates.
You
Well, you do now.
no. I'm just gonna go for it. That's it. It still hurts though. It still hurts.
Oh dear. Customers and acquaintances.
Do you have a customers and acquaintances discount?
Absolutely not.
No, it's alright. Okay. I gave him my money.
Fantastic. And he'll hand over the potion to you.
Cool. Now, how do add to bag? I never add anything to this bag. I've got like 5 things in there.
Yeah, so it's bag plus space, an amount if there's an amount, but there is none in this case. And then in quotes, you can do something like, you do something like that, for example, and that would put a potion of eternal go sleepy in your bag.
Mhm.
A potion of uh,
Perfect.
fantastic. All right. Is there anything else I can possibly offer you?
I think I'm good, unless you have any fancy weird relics. Because I'm sure I don't even know who came down with this, but I'm sure someone on my ship would love relics.
If you happen to mean old objects, I've got relics galore. You mean relics like the category of magical item? Unfortunately, we don't really carry those.
Got it. Nope, that's what I was looking for, so I think that's all I need.
Understood. Well, I hope you all enjoyed shopping upon this wondrous ship. Do any of the rest of you want anything? Just to make sure nobody else is shopping here, right?
By just keeping your perception open.
Yeah, sure.
Those cannons.
Yes.
How much are they?
Oh, depends on which ones you want. The Frankian ones are quite well built, and they all do fireballs. The Republic ones are slightly damaged, so much cheaper. And
How
they
much are
do a
each?
different damage type. Hang on, which ones do the Republic ones do? No, the Republic ones do fire as well. It's just the Frankian ones do more damage.
They do
Well,
fire
if you
and more fire.
if you want
More
the
fire.
you want the ones from the Republic, you're looking at only about 500 gold each. I only have 2 on hand though, so 1,000 gold gets you a lot. For the Frankian ones, which we have a bunch more on sale, they're about, and they actually do a decent amount of damage. So hang on, I need to look up the spell scroll value. Hang on, because they do the normal like cannon fire damage, which I actually listed somewhere. I think it's in my OneNote. Somewhere. Cannons. Cannons. Because I know that for the lightning cannons, Lyra spent a buttload of money.
I did.
Oh, it
So
wasn't.
much.
It wasn't too much for the lightning cannons. It was just because you also bought a bunch of other things.
I spent a lot of money on a lot of things, mostly to go underwater.
Yeah. So it's 3d8 fire damage for the Frankian, which is a level 3 spell, technically. And then, because it's a fixture and fires infinitely, that's an extra 1,000 gold. So it's 1,200 gold per Frankian fire cannon, and 500 gold for the 2 Republic ones. So 500 each, so 1,000 gold total.
Do those cannons do more damage than the cannons I currently have, or is it about the same?
Oh, it's about the same.
Okay.
Wait. How much are the Frankian ones?
The
Too
Frankian
much.
ones are 1,200 each.
Would you take 12 gold? No. Would you take less than that?
Possibly. It depends on how many you want to buy. It's better to fence them when I can, rather than keep them taking up space.
Are you trying to
2.
put freaking stuff onto my ship, Rachel?
Just think of it as what's that called? I'm reclaiming my property.
Yeah. I don't want your Frankian weirdness on my ship. What are you gonna do with that? Where are we
Shoot things.
Do we even have enough crew members to cover 2 more extra cannons?
The
Good question.
Phrygian cannons are the exact same kind that you have for your fire ones. The Republic ones are 1 dice damage weaker. So you currently have 6 fire cannons that deal 3d8 with 150-foot range and a 20-foot sphere of damage. So that would just add more. The Republic ones are the exact same range, exact same sphere size, but it's 2d8 instead. And when you say 2, he'll go, well, how's about 2,000 gold, and we'll move them over to your ship.
Lyra, you want some cannons?
I think I got a better deal when I first got this thing. I don't know, because we upgraded for less than that, didn't we?
I don't know.
I think with all your upgrades, so you bought 4 cannons, which are the lightning ones, which were upgraded. You bought the going underwater thing, you bought the reinforcement to it, and I think you bought one more thing, and it was over like 10,000 gold. It was a lot.
I know, I'm trying to think of, like, I need the receipt. I need the itemized list of what we spent.
Because you had a platinum plate before, which was like a buttload of platinum.
It was. All right, Rigel, here's the deal. You pay for the whole thing, and we could put them on the ship. I will not, but we're gonna turn them into something that's not Frankian. Like, I'm gonna carve the eyes out of the freaking lion, or whatever the hell is on this can.
We're removing the fleur de lis.
Yes.
Actually,
We'll turn it into a very poorly drawn, like, Exana with her head cut off or something. I don't know.
What is that symbol called? Oh, it's actually called the fleur de lis. All right, I was right. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not dumb.
Did you say 2,000 total?
Yes. So 2,000 total for the 2 Frankian cannons, and 1,000 if you want the 2 Republic cannons.
What about 1,500?
For
Both of the Frankian ones.
that seems a little short to me, unfortunately. I think the
You're a
lowest
little
I can.
short.
Rigel, no! Do not! We're trying to play nice
squints.
with
That's so. Well, I'll have to invest in some growth potions then. 2,000 gold.
15.
2,000. Going once. Going twice. Ah, last, no sale made. You're welcome to go back to your ship now.
Okay, bye.
And he will gesture for you all to head on out of the shopping area. Melinda, could you
Quick,
roll?
leave, quick, leave, quick, leave.
What did you do? What did you do?
I have not done nothing.
Why are we leaving so quickly? Only
Because
people
they told us to leave quickly, so we gotta leave.
Oh, well, okay. Don't scare me like that. I thought that you had planted something.
No, we just gotta take the ship and go very fast, far away.
Uh-huh.
Why? Can I hear more insight on Rigel? What did he do?
Didn't do anything.
He technically still has yet to do anything. He's
Well,
just going
they're-
to implicate the rest of us.
You're doing me a heck of concern, sir. What the?
While they're
What?
running to get out of the ship, Melinda,
I'm not.
Could
I'm
you
walking at a
roll?
normal pace.
could you please roll an intelligence check for me? Oh, actually, was your Arcana that high?
Oops.
Whoa.
It would
Never
be
seen that
check.
before.
Check int. What was your Arcana?
No,
Why?
just check.
So
Oh,
close.
just check.
Roll check. Roll check.
This lady. Oh, just kidding.
So
3.
close.
3.
Oof.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So you
Wait.
begin to try to make the healing potion as he's like, all right, hang on, and he like pulls off one of the fingers on his gauntlet, just a little piece of it, and like slowly but surely that bluish mist is drifting down into the potion, and you just can't get it to mix into the potion. You can't get it to meld to any material. It seems that whatever this fog is, this magical essence of this creature, it doesn't want to combine with anything. You can't mix it in, you can't do anything. It's not like blood dripping out where you can sort of mix it with something. It's like you're trying to mix water and oil and it just keeps separating every time you try to mix it together. Just, a lot faster than water and oil separates. But you just can't get it to meld together as he puts the finger back. And everybody else, are you getting off the merchant ship?
Yes.
Yep.
I am
Alright.
staring down Rigel though.
Sure. You guys get off the merchant ship, and Melinda, you hear from above deck the voice of the merchant go, "We are leaving!" And he looks over at you and goes, "Sorry, I gotta go." It was a good try.
okay. Yeah.
And
Next time.
turns and heads on up and heads on over to the ship. The merchant gives sort of a bow as the gangplank is pulled up, and their ship begins to pull away from you guys. Anything you'd like to do, or are you going to watch them go into the distance?
Still waiting for some weird thing to happen. But we'll start sailing the opposite direction.
Yeah, you guys were
Too late
going.
now. They
Yeah.
already left.
It's past now. He's gone.
Bless you.
All right. They continue their way in the direction of the Black Fleet to sell their fenced goods, while you continue westward. And everybody gets 2 more days worth of stuff. So, Ragma, if you'd like to add 2 more days worth, so we're going to say another 20 hours probably of alchemy work, whatever you would like.
104.
Hell yeah, brother. Is there anything else anybody would like to do during the downtime? My 2 more things have been added to your question log, so you can ask 2 more questions. You've got, good lord, all the way down.
I'm editing to one question before, and now I've got 3 questions after. Right? Because one of those 2 questions from
Yes.
before was used for Kielda crit, and then I only
Yes.
had 1 from Pyre, and now I've got 2 more.
Correct. Yeah. This is the encounter with Morcane Trading Company. Fantastic.
Do that. One after.
And
two
12th and
after.
13th, you guys do fuck all but sail and alchemy and try not to drown. Don't drown yourselves in nothing.
No
At
promises.
which point I need somebody to roll a d2.
I want to roll
Do it.
it. Oh no, I
Roll a 2. Roll a 2.
I'm
Yeah.
having it.
Hoping that the 1 streak continues.
Yay!
Magnificent. All right.
Mention?
Probably bad. Probably bad.
You guys continue
Do
to
it.
sail onwards. Nothing immediately seems to happen during the day. It's been 2 days since you guys last encountered the anything really. Every now and then you'll see ships in the distance, but they're never going the same way as you, and they never get anywhere close to you. No Frankian ships, mostly just like miscellaneous vessels that are like a fishing vessel or whatever. Rigel, transform. just practicing with his blue flaming weapon. You don't know how close you are, Lyra. No,
Why?
I need my first to make a perception check.
So it's a 20.
Yeah, okay. And then I would like for everybody else to make perception checks. I want to see if anybody sees it before. I doubt it. I just want to check.
Do you still want me if I'm below deck doing potions?
No, if you would have been doing potions, then do not make percepciones.
And true to form, my always has the highest.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
God.
makes sense to me. I just had to make sure, Oh, hydrate. I can hydrate. Hydrate up. That was 8 minutes ago. Good lord. As you... Dang it, and now a posture check. Rude. I've checked. My posture is bad. And now I've been quacked at. Everybody's doing alerts. What the heck? So, in the distance, you see the mast and flag of a ship. It's quite a ways away when you see it. Luckily, with that 20 roll, you're able to pull out the spyglass that's up top and spy in on it and see what this thing is. It is a ship that is flying a black flag. It's kind of tattered a little bit oddly colored at first, and then you sort of like double down on checking what this thing is, and you see that the edges of the ship are covered in a white colored coral. You see that the sails are quite tattered and kind of ruined, to the point that they shouldn't be moving as fast as they are. And the flag is not just a black flag, as it has a red eye on it.
We've got enemies incoming!
Let's go!
The ship seems to be about the same size as your guys' ship, so it's a sort of mid-vessel. From the distance that you're at, you can see that it has more cannons on it. The cannons have this sort of like coral spike growth. Instead of being like a cannon poking out of a hole, it's sort of like a spear of coral poking out of each of the holes. As this thing has turned in your guys' direction and is now just barreling for you guys. There is a slight shadow for a creature that you would expect to be below it, but it doesn't look anywhere near as large as the thing you guys fought last time. The boat looks more like an actual boat, too. It looks... This thing looks more like it's a ship first, creature second, compared to the thing you guys fought last time, where it was a fake boat on a creature. My roll... I don't think you need to roll this. At advantage, roll an investigation check. Just roll it anyways. Give me your investigation check at advantage. All right, cool. You're able to quickly look down at the deck and see that there is a crew. Most of the crew is moving inhuman-like. But unlike the previous ship you guys fought, there is a crew on this ship. There are people moving to and fro. The cannons on the top deck seem to actually be real cannons, and people are moving to it. As well as you see an individual towards the top, towards the helm, who is spinning the helm, and as he does, the ship does indeed begin to shift where it's moving towards. It seems the wheel at the top of the ship does control this. It is a functional ship. The individual at the top, the captain, as it were. I'm gonna go grab the description so I don't fuck this up. Hang on. PC backstories. Lyra. There it is.
Oh wait, what?
Uh, interestingly, I kind of get to describe what this guy looks like. All right, you see a rather large, quite muscular individual who seems. He also moves slightly oddly, like if he had like a growth somewhere that he can't quite move around. Sometimes he looks coral infected in some way, shape, or form, but whoever this man was, he was quite large. Not just large like standing tall, but large like muscular and large like probably ate pretty decently. He's sort of that mix of all of the above. Not quite Thor, the world's strongest man, but close. If you describe this to anyone, if you would like to, Lyra, the captain of the ship, is somebody you know.
Oh, unfortunate, he's going to die again. No, I can let him know that I have no sentiments toward. I don't think he's part of my main crew, so I don't have any sentiments toward this guy, right? Not
Uh,
someone that I cared about.
I mean, yeah, if it wasn't Phobius that she just described.
I don't think he is. I would definitely know that fucker, right? Right? That's not
Yeah.
him, right?
It's Phobius.
Oh, that motherfucker! No, kill on sight. Destroy.
Damn.
I'm just gonna rally the ship and be like, that guy is our number one target. Destroy him at all costs. I don't care. Somebody bring me his head.
And in fact, as the person is described, I just assume Mayu described the person.
Of course,
Possibly.
especially when I said crew, they probably asked what's going on with it, and then I would have started describing some of the stuff, and then described the captain.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure. Don't want to step on toes. My apologies. I sort of said it immediately. But in that case, Alessandro immediately goes, I'm going below deck. And Gunnar goes, all right. And he moves over to like a cannon and just starts prepping all the cannons for open fire. Like he is preparing the cannons and yells out that whichever side is the first side to encounter, he wants to be on one of the cannons. He's going to personally shoot at least one of the cannons at this guy, at the sort of coral ship that is incoming. Because this is going to be a fight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that we might want to stop here. However, I want to do some basic planning beforehand, just to see if any damage gets out before anything occurs. So they are still at a distance to you guys. Is there prep that you guys want to do in any way, shape, or form? Or are we
I
just going to
wanted the
move in
donkey.
broadside? Yes, donkey. Bring out the donkey if he's not already out. Donkey is not out. Okay. Donkey. Easy enough. You're able to call out the donkey. You're pretty sure it'll last all fight long easily. Ooh, excuse me.
Use you.
Good lord. Donkey. Donkey. And donkey.
Donk.
Pack donkey.
Bonk.
Bonk.
Donkey is out. Any other preps people would like to do before any encounter occurs?
Alright.
Uh,
Hey, Melinda, you want to send sending?
I can. I was gonna cast water breathing on everyone, too.
Yeah,
I do have those potions if you don't want to spend a spell slot.
For water breathing?
She's gonna try to ritual cast it.
Well, no, I
Right.
was gonna instantaneous cast it because it's we're in a time crunch now.
I will say, you had said before when you had started doing the sailing that you wanted to try to do it ritual cast every morning to just make sure that
Mhm.
everybody had it. At this point, they would all already have water breathing, so you're good.
Okay. Cool.
And
Yeah,
you're good for like another 12 hours at least. So you don't have to worry about them losing water breathing, and you don't have to spell cast it.
Okay. Cool. Then sure. Who, what, where, when, why?
Can you please tell Phoebius to get fucked?
I'm gonna try and look at the guy over there and I'm gonna say, Lyra, I forget what her last name used to be, tells you to get fucked.
Sure. So if everybody would like to
That is
long
very
rest, if everybody would like to
Oh,
long
yeah.
rest real quick, just to reset yourselves, just in case. Do long rest. And then Melinda, if you'd like to please cast sending. Fantastic. So you send that, and in response you hear, "Oh, she is there. Okay." And that's it.
He knows you're here now.
Good. He would have found out either way with my fists.
Alright, so we got Donkey out, water breathing. Phobius has been taunted. What
Does he get
What else would
disadvantage
you-
if we talk?
maybe, you don't know. Anybody else want to do anything in prep?
How far are they?
Right now, a ways away. Like, Mai had seen them in the distance, pulled out the spyglass, and been like, oh crap, and immediately went down to you guys and described everything to you guys. So, like, they're a ways away. They're like, I'd say, at what distance could you see a ship? Like, almost a mile out, probably? Like, over the waves. You see them in the distance. This is like the Sea of Thieves. You see the flag in the fog in the distance type deal. Like,
And
Bless
and
you.
my would probably still be in the crow's nest,
you.
just yelling down
Thank
the
you.
information that she got, especially since they're so far away. She doesn't need to worry about anybody overhearing.
yeah, and you have the earring too, so you can actually speak normally.
Yep. So she can keep an eye on the enemy ship to see if anything changes.
Yeah. So this is like
I just
early
wanna spell.
preparation. Okay, you want to spell? I need to go and do their new version of
Ye-
spellbook stuff. I'll try to make a new version of Inspell for you that works again and hopefully has all the correct things. So once I put that back together with the new weapon that you have, you can Inspell at the beginning of next session, and we should be good. I'll make sure to get that done with this week. And just so that you guys can see what you're up against, I did already make their ship because it's just kind of a copy of your ship. I need to go and
It's copy,
Find
but
it.
wait, wee.
I feel like saying take him alive defeats the purpose because he's probably dead.
Take him alive. He's already dead.
I mean, if he's just ahead, we can still question it, right? Does somebody have Speak with Dead? Can you cast Speak with Dead on a dead thing? Well,
Yeah,
duh.
well,
fucking-
yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The heat of the freaking battle is getting to me already.
Don't we have a necromancer guy or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah, you do.
Does he have it?
I hope so.
Speak with Dead. Yes, he would have it.
Excellent. Then we don't have to keep his head attached to his body.
He
And
just
Maya
needs a
has-
body.
And Maya has been quite the helper in his studies.
There we go. I put the
So-
ship
so
opposite of
far-
you guys
so far
if you wanted to check it
Quite
out.
helpful in a few people's studies, my
Wait, what?
with Aldecrit and now our fun necromancer.
Okay.
What a nerd. No.
There we go. I've placed their ship so you guys can at least see what it looks like in the distance. I sort of placed it right next to you guys, but it's fine.
What a tentacly ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Lyra's wet dream. I mean,
Kind of chunky.
Everything that is black and purple, just imagine it being white and sort of like pastel colored, because it's all coral bits that just sort of grows all over it everywhere.
I
Yeah.
do love some coral ships. Should we go under the sea or should we wait?
Under the sea.
Ba, ba.
That'd be another thing you guys could do. You guys want to try to
Mm.
fight it underwater?
That worked out the last time.
It did.
we're also very locked to the ship too.
What was that?
We're also very locked to the ship when we go under.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you can't really do like boarding party combat.
No. Okay, we'll see whatever. We'll see how it goes first, and then evasive maneuvers if needed.
Yeah. You guys actually
Try
have
to
plenty of
sneak up on
time.
them.
You have plenty of time to strategize. And while the strategies are going on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end my stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on by, hanging out, playing some D&D with me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys had some fun. I realized it was a lot of shopping this time, but my apologies.
It's all
You
good.
just happened to roll another merchant guild. But yeah, it's going to be a fight against Phobius and his ship. And we'll see what happens, how things break, and if Lyra has a breakdown. But yeah, so
The only thing I'm breaking is his face.
Wah.
fist.
With your fist or with your
Sorry.
sigh?
Both. All of the
Sigh
above.
really hard on his face.
but yeah, so we're gonna end for now. They'll be strategizing and whatnot in Discord, I assume, at least trying to figure out how they're gonna do this. And if not, it's gonna be a real crazy fight when we get back to it. Hopefully next Sunday. Is everybody available next Sunday-ish? Probably.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should be. Yeah.
Fantastic. Should be is plenty for me. So we'll be back next Sunday for a fight with Captain Phobius and the coral ship. See how things go for this next portion of the pirate arc, I guess. The Charybdis arc, I guess, would be more correct. We'll see what happens with the new weapons that Rigel has gotten and Mai have gotten. We'll see if they become overpowered and I have to nerf them. No, we'll see. We'll see how
Yeah,
this
the
goes.
crit the box destroys us all.
Yeah. Alicrit opens the box. The universe is ended. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your time zone, and we'll be back for some more games on Monday. Some multiplayer games. Tuesday, a bunch of random shit, and then Baldur's Gate hopefully has all the mods updated, so I can play that for after dinner, which will be Twitch integration-y stuff. If you guys wanted to mess with me and or change my conscience, that has an N in it that I didn't pronounce. And then Wednesday I might play some games after lunch, but before Rogma plays. Ooh, and then we'll go watch Rogma. And then we'll figure out the rest of the week as we go. So thank you so much, everybody. Everybody over in my stream, I'm gonna try to raid somebody so we can raid with like 4 people, which would be super cool. Let's see who's doing anything. Oh, let's go hit up Blargs. Blargs is playing Rocket League. That sounds like fun. We'll raid over there real quick. Thank you, everybody. I hope you're able to tune in next time round, and or if you're watching the VOD, either on Twitch or YouTube. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful time zone. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Shane.